This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, President Trump prepares to give his first State of the Union address. The president weighed in on a broad range of issues in a rare broadcast interview over the weekend. ABC's John Carl has more.
Depending on who you talk to, you're either delivering on a lot of your promises, beginning to make America great, or you're a raging, tweeting wrecking ball who's destroying the country and terrifying the entire planet.
Yeah.
How do you plead?
Well, I plead not guilty. What happened?
To all of it?
Well, I
The
think,
second bit?
No, I think I shake things up. It had to be shaken up.
It was the ultimate friendly interview. The president sitting down with former Celebrity Apprentice winner Piers Morgan, who had an unusual way of asking about the women who have protested President Trump in record numbers.
Are you a feminist?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a feminist. I mean, I think that would be maybe going too far. I'm for women, I'm for men, I'm for everyone.
The president revealed a bit about his tweeting habits.
Are you actually lying in bed with your phone, working out how to wind everybody up?
Well, perhaps sometimes in bed and perhaps sometimes at breakfast or lunch or whatever.
The White House says the State of the Union address tomorrow night will show a president who cares about all Americans, but his critics aren't buying it. Rapper Jay-Z over the weekend attacked Trump for using a vulgar slur to describe African countries.
It's really hurtful because you're looking down on a whole population of people, and you're so misinformed because these places have beautiful people and have beautiful everything. Yeah. And it's just like, this is the leader of the free world speaking like this.
That prompted a response from President Trump via Twitter. Somebody please inform Jay-Z that because of my policies, black unemployment has just been reported to be at the lowest rate ever recorded.
That's John Carl reporting. A former drug company executive taking over the Department of Health and Human Services today. President Trump attending Alex Azar's swearing-in ceremony just a few minutes ago this morning. Azar served as general counsel and deputy secretary of the agency under former President George W. Bush. He also worked as a top executive for the pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly. The first police officer on the scene at the deadly Pulse nightclub massacre will be a guest at tomorrow night's State of the Union address. The Orlando Sentinel reports Orlando officer Adam Gruller will be joined by his wife at the speech on Capitol Hill. Gruller was the first officer to confront the gunman who killed 49 people back in June of 2016. New at noon here on the Suncoast, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is investigating the shooting. It happened around 9:30 this morning inside a home on Beneva Woods Circle in Sarasota. That's off Beneva Road. Deputies say one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Even though the investigation has just started, detectives believe all parties are accounted for and that the public is not in any danger. And we're learning new details about a deadly hit and run as Sarasota police are now asking for your help identifying those responsible. Investigators say a woman's body was found along Fruitville Road early Sunday morning between Beneva and McIntosh Roads. Police believe a vehicle hit the woman just before midnight on Saturday, and the driver did not stop. The victim's name has not yet been released. If you have any information on the hit and run, maybe you saw something that night, call Sarasota County Crime Stoppers at 366-TIPS. And Manatee County Sheriff's deputies investigating a weekend shooting and attempted robbery. Deputies found a man shot in the leg on 10th Street Court East in Bradenton. The victim told deputies he was just trying to buy marijuana, but when he went to make the deal, the other person tried to steal his money and then shot him when he tried to drive away. And happening tomorrow, the Bradenton Police Department is hosting another community squad meeting. Officers will be at the A1 Handy Mart on 15th Street East to interact one-on-one with the public, talk about issues impacting the area neighborhoods. Police will also have their new armored surveillance vehicle on display. The community squad meeting will happen tomorrow from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. and then another one will be held in the afternoon from 4 to 8 p.m. Time now to get a first look at our first alert weather on this Monday afternoon. And wow, we had a lot of rain yesterday, an inch and a half at my house, and I'm sure other areas had probably a little bit more too. Huh?
We had some, according to Doppler radar estimates, over 3-inch rainfalls in pockets. So yeah, and Tampa broke their all-time record that has stood since 1900 for the day.
Yeah.
So pretty impressive. Yeah, pretty impressive for this time of year.
We needed it.
Much needed. Yeah. Plus, as we head into Head into fire season, you know, we kind of grateful for any kind of rainfall we can get. Now, also, it's a little foggy this morning, as well as having a few scattered showers around. The Cortez Bridge webcam verifies that fog that kind of rolled in and socked in the coastlines, actually. The marine fog advisory up till 11 o'clock when the fog broke. And actually, now we even have some blue sky in places across the Sun Coast, particularly looking inward. Toward inland areas. Now, this is a Doppler estimate of how much rain fell. That very dark green spot that you see is a report of as much as 3.5 inches of rainfall down around Inglewood, Rotunda, and parts of Venice, Northport. Saw some very heavy rainfall. Otherwise, most everybody saw 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. Titan radar right now, absolutely quiet, but as we head into the afternoon, I think we'll see even more blue sky out there. Temperatures will fall, though, as the sun sets and the dry air filters in. We'll talk about the coldest day of the week coming up in just a few. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. Happening today, gather up all those important documents and W-2 forms. This tax season starting today. The IRS accepting tax returns now. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us live from H&R Block on US 301 in Sarasota, where I imagine it's going to be pretty busy soon. Marla?
Yeah, that's right, Scott. You know, it's one busy day for tax preparers across the country and the ones here on the Sun Coast, as the IRS, they are accepting paper and electronic tax returns starting today. Now, even though the IRS is accepting both forms of returns, paper returns and taxpayers claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit and the additional Child Tax Credit won't see a return until mid-February, the IRS and tax professionals are encouraging people to file electronically for faster refunds. A tax specialist here at H&R Block in Sarasota say this is just one incentive to filing early.
In addition to that, we encourage people to file early to help combat tax identity theft, which is when somebody files a fraudulent return with your Social Security number, and by you filing early, hopefully you'll beat them to the chase, and that will kick out their return.
This year you have 2 extra days to file. The filing deadline is April 17th. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Marla, thank you so much. And as tax season kicks off, the IRS is warning consumers to watch out for possible identity theft. The Identity Theft Resource Center reported more than 174 million tax records exposed in data breaches through December of 2017. That's why tax officials are saying the floodgates could open for criminals today as people begin to file. Experts are urging taxpayers to file as early as possible, as you heard Marla report, to help avoid identity theft. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with a check on the day on Wall Street so far and the stock market on this new week. Down arrows across the board, Richard, so far.
Scott, you're absolutely right, but I don't think we have too much to complain about. We certainly have today and tomorrow and Wednesday to finish out the month, but we are on track for the best month performance since October of 2015, almost 2.5 years ago. And of course, because this is January, the month-to-date and year-to-date numbers are the same. The Dow and the S&P are both up by more than 7%, and the NASDAQ is up by more than 8%. Sometimes that's a pretty darn good year. So that said, let's take a look at where we stand right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down, as you see, 108 points, 26,508.83, a loss of 0.41% on 389 million shares. The NASDAQ, look at that, that's not a mistake. It's also down 0.41%, down 31 points at 7,474.08, that on volume of 602 million shares. And the S&P down as well, down almost 0.5%, 13 points at 2,859.72. Well, fasten your seatbelts because we are in for quite a week on Wall Street. As Scott said earlier, the President's State of the Union message is tomorrow night, and certainly that can influence the market. Small restaurant chain called McDonald's is going to announce its earnings tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we get earnings reports from Facebook and Microsoft, and we also get a speech from Janet Yellen as the outgoing chair of the Federal Reserve Board. And on Thursday, listen to this, Apple, Amazon, and Google are all reporting earnings on the same day. That's Thursday. So when I say fasten your seatbelt, I'm not kidding at all. We've got a real opportunity. We're talking now to people about the fact that they can come in and just sit down and talk about anything they want. We're going to converse about the stock market, the bond market, estate planning, whatever it may be. So feel free to give us a call. Conversations with the Stearns. It's going to be a weekly event. This week it's on Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon. You can call 906-2847. Again, 906-2847. Or you can do sternbaird.com or just Google Stern and Baird. And we'll look forward to having a lot of people there. And Scott, we had a great turnout last week, up to 12 people. So we're hoping for the same thing on Thursday afternoon.
All right, Richard, and we'll see you again at 5 o'clock.
I will
down
be here.
arrows, maybe we'll reverse. We got time.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, all right. Thank you again, Richard. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why health experts say this record flu epidemic is expected to only get worse from here. And why a plane in California had to make an emergency landing on a freeway. Details when we come back.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac.
Start the year off with big savings during the Start Something New event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get a brand new Jeep Renegade for as little as $15,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $18,999. Or be one of the first to drive away in a 2018 Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Carmina Burana in Motion. Carl Orff's choral masterpiece, Carmina Burana, bursts into life in this lavish production designed for 60 voices, 3 celebrated soloists, a 2-piano percussion ensemble, and dynamic premiere choreography performed by members of Sarasota Contemporary Dance. Do not miss this lush feast of the senses. Saturday, February 3rd, 4 p.m. at Church of the Palms in Sarasota. Tickets and info are at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 941-387-4900.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we'll watch our temperatures climb up to about the 70-degree mark. And right now we have some sunshine out there, but the sun is fighting against a kind of a cool northwesterly wind flow. So the temperatures, even though we have a lot of sun, are not going to rise all that much higher than they are right now. Then, as we get into the evening hours, those temperatures are going to fall off pretty quickly. And we'll watch them dip down to near 50 degrees when you wake up tomorrow morning. Current conditions, 67 degrees with a dew point value of 64. North-northwest wind is really whipping at about 14 right now. And we've had some gusts that have been a little bit higher than that. But as we head into the later afternoon and into the overnight tonight, I think the winds will increase even more as an area of low pressure builds and a frontal boundary moves on past. A little bit of cloud cover out there. Dew point is at 64. We'll watch the wind out of the northwest continue to draw down drier air. If there are any showers at all They'll probably be in well inland areas. I don't think we'll see much along the coastline. In fact, we'll see some clearing take place as we head into 9, 10, 11 o'clock. We're looking at clear skies, I think, during the overnight. And then when you wake up tomorrow morning, I think we'll have a pretty chilly start to the day. Not only will you have that air temperature at about 50 when you get up tomorrow morning, but you'll also have that wind that'll be kind of breezy. So it'll put a little bit of an edge to the feel of the air as you head out the door tomorrow. I think as we head into the next couple of days, we'll probably be able to moderate that temperature a little bit, but we've got about 2 kind of chilly days to get through, and tomorrow morning will not be the coldest of our mornings this week. Talk about that in a second. Titan radar right now pretty quiet. All of the showers have been kind of pushed south and further to the east as that frontal boundary now making its way through our area, and the little bit of energy producing the showers continues to sink southward. Dry air in place, giving us a mix of sun and clouds today. The low pressure area strengthens, deepens actually, as it lifts up toward the North Atlantic coastline. High pressure builds in, and we get this northwest wind that continues to drive our front southward. The northwest wind will be breezy this afternoon and through tomorrow. So we have a rip current advisory up for our area beaches today. And we also have a small craft advisory that'll be up through tomorrow as well. And that cold air settling in will give us a couple of kind of cool, breezy days. Certainly today is going to be one of them. And then sunny tomorrow, but still cool. And then as we head into the next couple of days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we start to warm back up to the 70s. So it should be pretty nice by the end of the week. Northwest wind at about 10 knots, increasing to the northwest at about 20 tonight. 2-foot seas building to 6-foot seas, becoming choppy on your bay and inland waters. Forecast looks like this. For today, we get up to about 70 degrees, fair amount of cloud cover, but a little sun poking through as well. Down to 50 tonight. Tomorrow, an alert day because the winds, which will be elevated, be a problem, I think, for some high-profile vehicles, drivers of high-profile vehicles. Probably be a problem for people who work on scaffolding or higher up, and then also could be a big issue for boaters, as a small craft advisory will be up throughout the day. Drops down to about 41 Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Top it out at about 68 for Wednesday under full sunshine. And then over the next several days, we'll start to warm till we get into the 70s by the time we hit the weekend. Nice into the mid-70s, I think. And there'll be a slight chance at a shower or two as we head into Sunday. Scott?
All right, John, thank you so much. In today's Health Smart, federal health officials say this year's flu season is now more intense than any since the 2009 swine flu pandemic, and it's only getting worse. Nationally, the number of people coming down with the flu is increasing. More worrying, though, is the hospitalization rate, a predictor of the death rate, which has just jumped. New York Senator Chuck Schumer wants the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to designate a domestic flu surveillance team for New York State. So far, at least 35 children have died from the flu. And a new report is warning parents of the potential health risk for children who use secondhand toys. Researchers from the University of Plymouth looked at over 200 toys, inspecting them for several hazardous elements such as barium and lead. And they found more than 10% of the toys examined had traces of all the elements they were looking for, meaning children who put the products in their mouths were introduced to toxins faster. Scientists said even though secondhand toys might be a more economic option, parents should use caution and make sure the toys have not been taken off the market in the past. Time to get over to the kitchen and check in for the first time with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher today. Hi, Judy.
Hi there, Scott. Well, I went down to the Sarasota Downtown Farmers Market, one of my favorite things to do on a Saturday morning, and I did my usual stops. So I went to Maggie's Seafood, the best fish in town that you can buy to bring home, and got some of his delicious extra large shrimp. Then I walk over to Warden Farms, which is on State Street, and it's hard to decide because there's so many beautiful fresh lettuces, arugulas, shards, things like that. And I found some organic yellow peppers. We're going to use that to roast up a sauce, toss it with some pepperonata pasta, again from the farmer's market, and you will have a delicious meal tonight, especially with the weather cooling down. This is a little bit hearty, and you can substitute pasta for zucchini noodles. But I think you're going to really like it as it all comes together with this yellow pepper sauce. So stay with me. I'll be back in just a few minutes to start up the sauté pan.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Now to a developing story in South Philadelphia. That's where an off-duty police officer shot a driver this morning. Investigators say the driver was intentionally trying to hit pedestrians, and at least one person was hit. There's no word yet on that person's condition. The 33-year-old driver was shot in the face and is now in serious condition. Now to California, where a small plane had to make an emergency landing on a freeway. The pilot says he was flying over the ocean headed for John Wayne Airport in Burbank last night when the engine of the small plane lost power. He then had to make a very quick decision on where to land. The pilot was able to land safely on that freeway. There were no injuries reported from anyone on the plane or anyone on the ground. And a wild elephant causing some problems for Chinese border officials. The elephant turned up at the border checkpoint on Saturday and carefully stepped over the roadblocks to enter Laos. The elephant then took a stroll into the neighboring country. The trip abroad, however, didn't last very long, about 2 hours, and then back in China. Time now to get back over to the kitchen and check in again with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Hi, Judy.
Hi there, Scott. So the first thing we're going to do is actually roast the peppers. These beautiful big babies, you just have to scoop out the inside. I have just a couple cloves of garlic cut in half or quartered is going to be fine. Fresh thyme. Want to do some olive oil and of course some salt and pepper. Get that oven up on, if you have a convection roast button on your oven, that's about where you want to be, 375 degrees. This is going to take about 20 minutes or so. We'll peak at 10-minute point, turn them over, give them a little toss, but that should be good to go. So we have that part. I'm going to start our saute pan now. On a lower heat, we're going to get back to that in just a few minutes, but I want to come over to what the roasted peppers are like when they come out of the oven. They're going to be nice and soft. You're going to have the fresh thyme. You're going to have that beautiful garlic in there. So let's put the food processor on, and then what we're going to do is the best thing to use is malt vinegar, but you can also use sherry wine vinegar if you want, which makes it more of a Romanesco sauce, but it's still going to be really flavorful. And we're gonna put 2 pinches of fennel salt, which anything that has fennel in it, I love. When you get that fennel pollen, it gives you a bright flavor that I love. So the pan is heating up. When you can get your hand about 1/2 inch there, you know that's the right temperature. If you were gonna sear something like meat, then man, you want that temperature really, really hot. You can either use regular butter, or I think I've shown you these before. I picked them up at the Fresh Market. And what they do is this is a lemon herb type of butter. So they have all these butters. We call them compound butters. And what I usually do is I have 2 or 3 in my refrigerator at home that I just make and I roll in plastic. But this is gonna make your life so much easier, especially if you're cooking for 1 or 2 and you just don't wanna have to buy as many ingredients. That's gonna be the way to go. Now, pull the pan off because it's already browning, but I added some olive oil to help with the butter. It balances the burn factor. Now, diced shallots and about 4 more cloves of garlic, because shrimp and garlic go together like the cherry on top of a sundae. I mean, it is just perfect. So we're gonna give that a little more of a toss. And basically, what you want to do is just enhance the flavors. I'm going to take some of this Vicks garlic, which I love from the Spice and Tea Exchange, and we'll get that smooth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull half of this out. We come back, we're going to start sauteing the shrimp, finish up the sauce, and put it together with pasta. Yum for Monday.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veterans Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Coming up, why Republican lawmakers warned President Trump not to fire special counsel Robert Mueller. Plus, a community outrage after a 7-year-old boy is handcuffed and taken from school. And a woman with a history of hopping on airplanes without paying is arrested again.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. Our top story this half hour, as President Trump prepares for the first State of the Union address, the White House says that speech will be an attempt to reset the administration's tone. And one topic unlikely to come up is the Russia investigation. ABC's Lana Zak has more from Washington.
The administration says this year's speech will focus on 5 main areas: the economy, infrastructure, immigration, trade, and national security. President Trump is expected to make the case that all groups are benefiting from a roaring economy thanks, he says, to tax cuts and deregulation. But the speech comes in the shadow of the ongoing Russia investigation, including bombshell reports that the president considered firing the special counsel Robert Mueller last summer.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
Everybody in the White House knows it'd be the end of the President Trump's presidency if he fired Mr. Mueller.
And the Washington Post reports that he had also recently considered firing his Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, the man who appointed Mueller. At the same time, some of the president's allies on Capitol Hill are pushing for the release of a GOP-written classified memo that alleges political bias against the president at the highest levels of the FBI and Justice Department. According to reports in the New York Times, the memo also reveals that Rosenstein approved an application to extend surveillance of a former Trump campaign associate, Carter Page, just last spring.
Having read this memo, I think it would be appropriate that the public has full view of it.
The Department of Justice says releasing the memo without a review would be reckless, and Democrats charge that this is really just an attempt to undermine the Russia investigation. But a House committee could vote on its release later today. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
The House is taking up a bill today aimed at protecting young athletes from sexual abuse. The measure would create an organization within the U.S. Olympic Committee that would handle reports of abuse, and law enforcement would have to be contacted for certain types of incidents. This discussion comes less than a week after a Michigan judge sentenced former USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar to between 40 and 175 years in prison. More than 150 women and girls said Nassar sexually abused them over the past 2 decades. Meanwhile, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida has fired his chief of staff over the weekend. Rubio citing allegations of improper conduct. Rubio's announcement did not include the chief of staff's name. However, a press release on Rubio's website says named Clint Reed as Rubio's chief of staff. Rubio saying his chief of staff had violated office policies regarding proper relations between a supervisor and their subordinates and involved threats to withhold employment benefits. A former Trump administration employee is moving from the White House to the Big Brother house. Omarosa Manigault Newman will appear on the upcoming season of Big Brother. This will not be her first try at reality TV. She was on Donald Trump's The Apprentice show 3 times, as well as her most recent job at the White House, serving as assistant to the president and director of communications. In Suncoast politics, we're now just about 2 weeks away from Election Day for a special House race in Sarasota. 3 candidates are running to replace Representative Alex Miller, who resigned a few months into her first 2-year term. Whomever wins will serve only through the end of the year, when another election will be held in District 72. Sarasota County Election Supervisor says this special race cost taxpayers $350,000. We asked each candidate why they want to represent Sarasota in Tallahassee.
I really want to see libertarian representation in the state house here in Florida.
This is a district I grew up in, so the opportunity to give back is something I so much look forward to.
I want to make sure that I represent the people of Sarasota. I want to make sure that we have a strong local economy.
Early voting starts Saturday. Election Day is Tuesday, February 13th. And remember, you can see the 3 candidates' only appearance together tomorrow night on ABC 7 News at 7. Let's get checked now again on our weather with meteorologist John Scalzi. Of course, we had the rain yesterday and some fog this morning.
Yeah, thick in places.
Yeah,
along the coastline it was very thick. There was a marine advisory up for the fog over the Gulf waters. Right. So, yeah, we're in fog season, and certainly we get these from time to time. I kind of like it. It's kind of a neat look, but of course you don't want to drive through it if it's very thick. And
True. Yeah.
I think tomorrow morning we won't have that problem because there's a lot of drier air beginning to move in. Plus, our westerly wind will become a more northerly wind and eventually northeasterly wind. So some nice dry air in store for us and a couple of cool, crisp days. But certainly it was thick this morning. Sarasota Bay webcam at the Van Wezel put into motion shows, at periods we had some rain showers move onshore. We also had some fairly thick fog. Then we had a little bit of clearing. Now we've got a little bit of cloud, and that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the afternoon, kind of in and out of the cloud. High-resolution satellite view here shows there are holes in these banks of clouds, but there's also a whole lot more cloud cover than anything else, and we really have to wait till all of that is pushed to the south of us before we really break out into the sunshine. But we will before long. All winds basically coming out of the northeast now, an indication that we are in the midst of that frontal zone that's basically sitting right over us, a transition period to some sunnier skies. So we'll go with about 70 for a daytime high today with kind of a mix of sun and clouds. A little bit more clearing taking place during the evening hours as our nighttime temperatures fall into the 50s. Kind of chilly tonight. Talk all about the forecast coming up in a few. Scott.
All right, John, thank you. A woman with a history of hopping on airplanes without paying is arrested for allegedly trespassing at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. 66-year-old Marilyn Hartman arrested yesterday after being spotted near the signature private plan section of the popular airport. Hartman had previously been ordered to stay away from the airport altogether. She was charged with criminal trespassing and violating conditions of her bond, terms that were set by a judge just last week. This is the second time in 3 days Hartman's been accused of committing a similar crime. And New York State's Attorney General has launched an investigation after a New York Times report detailing how a company sold millions of fake followers on social media platforms, some of them copying real users' personal information. The company, Devumi, has at least 55,000 of its so-called bot accounts that use information taken from people on social media, including users from every U.S. state. The report comes as companies like Twitter and Facebook continue to come under fire for allowing millions of potentially fake accounts to exist on their platforms. New at noon, a Sarasota couple is facing felony charges of child neglect after detectives discovered injuries on their 2-month-old daughter. Magdalena Perez Lopez and Martin Gomez were arrested after reports of child abuse to their baby. The parents had taken the girl to Sarasota Memorial Hospital after she wasn't eating. The girl is now at All Children's Hospital as the couple is being held now on $100,000 bond at the Sarasota County Jail. Now to a controversial case out of Miami, where a 7-year-old boy was taken from school in handcuffs after attacking a teacher. Police insist the boy was violent, but his parents say authorities went too far. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has more.
Police in Miami defending their action while the parents of the 7-year-old boy taken out of school in handcuffs are crying foul.
Do you think it was over the top? Too much. Too much.
The boy's mother recording the video is heard reassuring her son everything is going to be okay. Police say it happened on Thursday at the Coral Way K-8 center where the 7-year-old allegedly attacked one of his teachers after being told not to play with his food. His parents were called, and in a meeting with the principal when the boy's father says police took the boy into custody.
And I asked them why, many times, why you have to take my kids away?
According to the police report, the boy attacked the teacher by repeatedly punching her on her back in the hallway and continued to fight the teacher, grabbing her hair and pulling it towards him. Later, in a statement, police say this action was warranted to prevent his erratic and violent behavior from bringing further harm to others or himself.
I told to my wife, and I will do whatever is necessary, to continue the education if it's possible at home, because I don't believe in the system anymore.
The student was taken to the hospital for an evaluation and released. His father says there was a similar incident involving his son last year. This time around, the boy's been suspended for 10 days. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
All right, back to the kitchen now, where Judy is using ingredients she found at the Sarasota Farmers Market over the weekend. Judy?
That's right, Scott. It's one of my favorite things to do any of the farmers markets. And this month, I'll be traveling to so many new ones, like the new one that's at night on Lakewood Ranch. So you'll see me with lots of different ingredients coming up, especially as we're in the height of season of growing some great things. But right now, I'm talking all about shrimp because look at these babies. These are extra large. I peel and devein them, but notice that I keep that little tail on. I think it makes for a nicer presentation. I don't want to crowd the pan, so those last 6 or 7 shrimp I can get to. So now I'm going to take just a pinch more of the Vicks garlic. Now I have a little bit of the shallots and the garlic left in the pan. The key is with shrimp, 2 minutes per side, and that's just about what you're going to get. Once the shrimp is cooked, what I usually do is I take the shrimp out of the pan and then I start creating the sauce within, and then the shrimp can come back on. So this is something that you can do, you know, 20 minutes ahead of time. You can get your shrimp done, you can get your pasta done. Always save a cup of the pasta water before you drain it. And the reason being, then you don't have to use a stock. If you want to use a stock, there's a couple different ways. If you want more of a classic seafood, you can get it. It's sold almost like a reduced demi-glace at gourmet markets, Fresh Market, Morton's. They all have them. And as more and more markets open up, you'll see more and more of those. So we're going to shorten the time just for a moment so I can show you what else we're going to do. We're going to take back those, remember the sauteed garlic and the shallots? Oh yeah. And then we're going to add some of this delicious Swiss chard, and kale. I read right on the label, the way it's grown, it becomes a super, super green. I like that it's a double super, and it's double the amount of calcium, which is pretty incredible and impressive. Now, crushed pepper flakes, almost always like a little crushed pepper when I'm working with shrimp. It really enhances the flavor. And let's do a hit of fresh lime juice. Now, what we're gonna do is we saute this around, we're gonna deglaze with a little dry white wine. So you're probably looking for a Chardonnay, an unoaked Chardonnay. You don't have to spend a lot of money on the wine, but you do want to use a wine that you would drink in your glass. So a tablespoon of butter, there we go. Shrimp's going back in, then the pasta, and we'll top it off with that beautiful sauce. I'll be back for a taste in just a few minutes.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we'll get up to about 70 degrees today. We're not too far from that now, though. We actually dropped a degree over the last hour. I think with a little more heating, as soon as we can poke through the clouds and get some more sun in here, we'll probably add another degree or two. That's it to the daytime warming, and then we'll start to cool off as we head into the later half of the afternoon. That cold air arriving on that northwest wind continues to drop our temperature till we're at about 60 by 7 o'clock tonight, and then about 57 by midnight or so, bottoming out at about 50 by the time you get up tomorrow morning. 67 degrees right now. A lot of cloud cover out there. Winds are out of the northwest and breezy, coming in at about 14. The reason for those breezy winds, of course, is the developing low pressure area back to the west, or back to the east, along with a big ridge of high pressure back to the west, kind of building in. The combination of those two items really just funneling the winds straight down the spine of the state out of the northwest. We go into the later part of the afternoon by about 3 o'clock, and we have fairly quiet conditions and maybe a few holes in the clouds here and there, letting a little bit of sunshine in. As we head into the evening hours, we'll have a whole lot more clear sky around, and overnight tonight we'll clear out completely, so that by the time we get to tomorrow morning, I think we'll have a mostly sunny sky through the morning hours, although the winds will still be very breezy and brisk out of the northwest, drawing down some cooler air. So by 3 o'clock this afternoon, as you pick up the kids from school, or kids are coming home from school, you're thinking about your evening commute, it should be pretty much a rain-free sky with periods of sunshine and temperatures in the mid-60s to upper 60s. As we head into the evening, again, no rain in the forecast. Should be a nice evening, although we probably will have a little bit of cloud cover still around, and we'll also probably have still a pretty gusty wind out there. Quiet right now on radar across the region. Big ridge of expansive high pressure back to the west. That's building in right now and causing our winds to come in out of the northwest. They'll be turning more to a northerly direction during the overnight, and as that high builds in, we'll have several cool days, but quiet days here on the Suncoast. Breezy with cloud cover around today. Sunnier tomorrow, but still cool. Here's the temperature trend for the week ahead, and clearly you can see this dip that comes our way Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That's the coldest night of the week. Not tomorrow morning, but the day after tomorrow morning. That's when it's going to really be kind of chilly with temperatures in the low 40s, maybe even some upper 30s in inland areas. Then we'll start to rebound nicely and carry us through the rest of the week with temperatures in the 70s for daytime highs. Northwest wind coming in at about 10 today, increasing tonight to about 20. So it will be a breezy afternoon and nighttime as well. 70 today, tomorrow 62, an alert day because of the winds, 41 the overnight low, and then we start to warm as we head into the next several days till we get to the weekend with a chance of rain. Scott?
John, thank you. In consumer news, now a possible case of technology being just too smart for its own good. Tech experts say that a popular app could be revealing security forces at remotely located military bases. Strava is a fitness tracking app that calls itself the social network for athletes. It allows users of the app to share their running routes, and some believe that could lead to security issues. Strava released an updated global heat map late last year, and a worker from the Institute for United Conflict Analysts says the app caused military bases to be clearly identifiable and mappable. A spokeswoman for the Pentagon says the Department of Defense is now looking into the matter. Panera Bread is recalling all of its 2-ounce and 8-ounce cream cheese products due to the possible listeria contamination. Company officials say a recent sample tested positive for the bacteria. The recall only applies to cream cheese sold in Panera locations in the United States with an expiration date on or before April 2nd of this year. There have been no illnesses reported so far. And shoppers on the Suncoast are getting more options when it comes to groceries. A new Earth Fare grocery store opened on State Road 70 in Lakewood Ranch Saturday. And coming up on Wednesday, a new Whole Foods market will open on University Parkway. The two stores join several other grocery stores in the area, with a Fresh Market, Publix, and Walmart within just a few miles of each other. A local economics professor says seasonal residents are bringing more money to the area, which it might explain the higher-end grocery stores that are sprouting up across the Suncoast. Still to come in your Suncoast News, we're going to have more on why an MMA star, Ronda Rousey, is now planning to join the WWE. The story when we come back.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes. We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Join ABC7 at the all-new 2018 edition of Circus Sarasota. Ovation under the big top at Nathan Benderson Park behind the mall at UTC. Friday, February 9th through Sunday, March 4th. All opening weekend tickets are 20% off, courtesy of ABC7. To purchase your discount tickets, visit circusarts.org. The Circus Sarasota box office at the big top, or call 941-355-9805.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a multimedia producer for our morning news program. Strong and efficient digital, social media, and writing skills required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
There you go, John.
I'm ready. Tuck it in, Judy.
Tuck in.
This looks delicious.
Delicious Maggie's shrimp. We have that delicious chard and kale that's in there to give us just some power greens, but also it looks great. And that yellow pepper sauce, ingredients from Warden Farms, similar to romesco, but a little different of a bite, using malt vinegar and not using the almonds. But it comes together so easy all in one dish that you can use that with scallops or even chicken if you prefer.
It tastes so very healthy.
It does, right? And you could use zucchini noodles like I thought as well. And, you know, just a reminder, go on the dining page, mysuncoast.com/dining. We have a contest every Wednesday you can enter to win a $50 gift card to one of our great restaurant partners on the dining page, and get more information about what those restaurants are serving for Valentine's Day and Super Bowl and so many exciting things. Right, John?
Can't beat that. Yep, it's all there for you. Plus your video instructions. You can't neglect
That's right.
that. No.
That's right.
On mysuncoast.com. This is really delightful. Could you use other things like chicken in here? Or
Oh,
whatever?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really a versatile dish, but for me, the shrimp just, it pops with the flavor, with the garlic and the shallots as well.
Really delicious. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, John.
Scott?
Thank you both. In entertainment news, actor Scott Baio is denying a sexual misconduct claim against him. Baio posting a 16-minute-long video to Facebook yesterday refuting the allegations made by his former co-star Nicole Eggert. She posted on Twitter Saturday, "Ask Scott Baio what happened in his garage at his house when I was a minor. Creep." Eggert worked alongside Baio in the 1980s and 90s on the TV sitcom Charles in Charge. Baio says the sexual misconduct claims she has made against him are false. James Franco has been erased from the cover of Vanity Fair's annual issue celebrating Hollywood and the Academy Awards. The magazine debuted its new cover last week with the headline, "The 2018 Vanity Fair Hollywood Portfolio, 12 Extraordinary Stars, One Momentous Year." According to The Hollywood Reporter, Franco was digitally removed from the cover. The actor has denied allegations by 5 women who told the LA Times earlier this month they experienced inappropriate and sometimes sexually exploitative behavior by Franco. And Ronda Rousey is ready to rumble in a new ring. The former star of UFC made her official debut with the WWE yesterday. Rousey made her appearance shortly after Asuka won the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. After her music played, Rousey confronted Asuka and pointed directly at the WrestleMania 34 banner. Rousey said this move is not a publicity stunt, and ESPN is confirming that Rousey has signed a contract with the WWE. So we'll see her in a new. I don't watch much of that. But
my son does. He's an expert on it, actually.
Yeah,
so he's all on top of what the stats are and who to watch, both men and women.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. And we want to leave maybe with the Osprey camp because it looks like Sarah may be sitting on an egg. We'll check it out and we'll get back to you. Have a great day, everyone.